Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Mizuho Week Ahead. I am Boon Heng, market economist at Mizuho Bank. This week's theme is self-doubt. The week is ripe for self-doubt as the Fed's dilemma this week conspires with the BOJ's multi-dimensional disappointment last week. What's more, with the sheer intensity of geopolitical risk that persists, the Fed may be more undecided than decidedly hawkish. A good dose of self-doubt may thus not only be advisable but arguably desirable. This is as much for brutal bond bears as it may be for re-emergent market bulls after recent earnings optimism. Admittedly, the dollar will have a fair share of impetus either way, but dollar bears will do well with self-doubt. But perhaps resist wisdom on correlations is where self-doubt may manifest most intensely, as familiar bond equities and FX correlations are stress-tested this week. We will start with looking at last Friday's BOJ's decision and the yen's move. In our view, we think that it resembles interim patience and not suspended intervention. For the record, BOJ disappointed by not tapering bond purchases, and in turn, markets reciprocated the disappointment by stumping the BOJ with aggressive yen selling, which saw the dollar-yen surge from mid-155 to above 160 now. The absence of a distinct hawkish flex by the BOJ appears to have been the bugbear. But even BOJ hawks have cause for self-doubt given the conditional demand recovery. At least, to be patient, as evidence widens and the recovery entrenches. Admittedly, yen bears appear to have suspended self-doubt, defying intervention threats to push the yen to multi-decade lows. But perhaps best to reinstate self-doubt at record lows of yen amid MOF intervention threats and FOMC uncertainty. As for the Fed's decision on Wednesday, our view is that there is a high hawkish bar. Not unlike the BOJ, the FOMC may see greater appeal in a dash of self-doubt rather than decided abandonment of rate cut plans. The fact is, with mixed data, a clouded outlook, contemplation offers are much more sensible rather than hasty conclusions that age disastrously. As such, despite inflation prints, which are hotter, and robust jobs data, the Fed will probably prefer interim patience to an intense hawkish flip. And in any case, the bar is fairly high for a further hawkish jolt that guides yields significantly higher, especially given that rates have seen that markets are scaling back rate cut bets for the year to fewer than 2, versus 3, which was indicated in the dot plot. What's more, even after the March core PCE relief, USD yields remain elevated with the 2-year yield flirting with 5%, 10-year yields just below 4.7%. And so, FOMC statement and Fed Chair Powell will have to be unambiguously hawkish, at least suspending rate cut plans, to invoke an emphatic hawkish reflex. As for our region, yen major remains in a precarious state. In contrast to BOJ hawks being restrained and the FOMC's higher hawkish bar, Bank of Indonesia surprised, not us, with a 25 basis point hike last week. This reflects the stress of higher for longer rates, conspiring with unrelenting CNH pressures, and this is not peculiar to Indonesia. Extended currency weakness in EM Asia, which is far lower than October 22, where the peak US dollar was at 112 DXY versus 106 now, speaks to precarious policy FX risks. All in, self-doubt is inevitable, be it in terms of policy adequacies, appropriateness, or market valuations, with potentially dire impact on macro stability. For more information on these key central bank events this week, please refer to our Week Ahead publication or contact your respective sales desk and RMs. And for regular notification on our market views, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button. Thank you.